The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the holographic display materialized above the central platform. 7 species, representing the most advanced civilizations in the local cluster, studied the image with a mixture of curiosity and condescension. Admiral Thaxgon, the Krillin representative, leaned forward, his mandibles clicking dismissively. "The species calls itself human," he announced, his translator rendering his words in perfect standard. "From Sol system, they claim to have achieved faster-than-light travel and request membership in the Council." Council Director Vexara, an ethereal being of pure energy, pulsed thoughtfully. "Their world appears to be a Class M planet. Standard water carbon composition. What technology do they possess?" The hologram shifted, revealing a human spacecraft. Thaxgon's mandibles clicked again, this time in amusement. "They call it a battleship. USS Enterprise. Primitive nuclear fission for power, crude projectile weapons, and..." He paused for effect. "They still use physical armor plating." Laughter rippled through the chamber. Even the typically reserved Morthak delegation allowed themselves small smiles. Physical armor? In an age where energy shields rendered such concepts obsolete? "Perhaps we should observe their demonstration," suggested Councillor Drevik, a crystalline being whose species had mastered the art of peaceful conflict resolution millennia ago. "It would be educational," the Council agreed. They would watch the humans present their military might, just as all applicant species were required to do. It would be a brief entertainment before they politely declined Earth's request and offered them a minor trade agreement instead. 3 days later, above the Council proving grounds, the Enterprise emerged from faster-than-light travel. The battleship dwarfed the automated defense drones used for testing, her gray hull gleaming under the system's twin suns. The Council assembled in their viewing chamber, connecting their neural interfaces to witness every detail of the upcoming trial. "The defensive grid consists of 50 automated combat drones," Thaxgon explained, "each equipped with Class 7 energy weapons and adaptive shields. The human vessel must disable at least half to pass the minimum requirement." The Enterprise powered up her engines, maneuvering into position. The Council watched as her primitive radar systems swept the area, locating the cloaked drones. Then, without warning, the battleship opened fire. What happened next defied everything the Council thought they knew about warfare. Instead of energy weapons, the Enterprise launched physical projectiles, railgun rounds traveling at significant fractions of the speed of light. The drones' shields, calibrated to deflect energy attacks, offered minimal resistance against kinetic impact. 3 drones exploded in rapid succession. "Fascinating," Vexara pulsed. "An archaic solution to a modern problem. But surely..." The Enterprise launched another barrage, but this time something unexpected occurred. The rounds split mid-flight, transforming into a cloud of tungsten carbide penetrators. 6 more drones ceased functioning, their shields overwhelmed by thousands of simultaneous impacts. The remaining drones adapted their tactics, shifting to extreme evasion maneuvers that should have been impossible for human targeting systems to predict. The Enterprise responded by deploying what looked like ordinary metal canisters. The drone's sensors dismissed them as debris until the canisters detonated, creating localized electromagnetic pulses that disrupted electronics within a kilometer radius. 14 drones fell dark. The Enterprise wasn't finished. Her rail batteries swiveled with mechanical precision, tracking the remaining targets. But instead of firing immediately, she launched what appeared to be a spread of conventional missiles. The drones confidently maneuvered to intercept, their point defense lasers preparing for easy targets. The missiles never reached the drones. At maximum range, they detonated, releasing clouds of reflective chaff combined with sensor scrambling compounds. The drone's adaptive targeting systems struggled to acquire locks through the interference. Before they could compensate, kinetic kill vehicles launched from the Enterprise pierced their armor with devastating accuracy. 27 drones destroyed in 4 minutes. The remaining drones attempted to coordinate a unified assault, diving toward the Enterprise with their energy, weapons charged to full capacity. The battleship responded with what the Council initially perceived as desperation. She launched crude nuclear weapons. The Krillin admiral's laughter died in his throat as he realized the truth. These weren't standard nuclear warheads. They were fusion-pumped X-ray lasers, one-shot weapons that channeled a nuclear explosion into focused radiation beams. The drone's energy shields, designed to deflect incoming attacks, proved helpless against the coherent radiation streams that generated from within their own defensive perimeter. The final drones vanished in brilliant flashes of light. The council chamber remained silent for a full minute. Finally, Drevik spoke, his crystalline voice resonating with newfound respect. They weaponized our shield technology against itself. I have not seen such tactical innovation in 1,000 cycles. Admiral Thaxgon was more pragmatic. They won, through primitive means, brute force and chemical reactions. Any species with proper energy weapons and shielding would have. A new holographic display interrupted him. It showed detailed schematics of the Enterprise's weapon systems, not just railguns and missiles, but also prototypes for plasma cannons, gravitic disruptors, and zero-point energy collectors. The humans hadn't used them because they weren't necessary. They operate on a doctrine of escalation, noted Vexara, his energy form pulsing with analytical light. They prepared for threats they hadn't yet encountered. They didn't use their most advanced weapons because they didn't need to. The implications are significant. Over the following weeks, the Council conducted interviews with the human delegation. They learned that humanity's military doctrine focused on redundancy, adaptability, and what humans called thinking outside the box. Where other species specialized in single technologies, humans integrated everything, creating synergies that compensated for individual limitations. We don't just fight with what exists, explained Captain James Miller of the Enterprise. We innovate. We adapt. We create solutions to problems we haven't encountered yet. The Council's final vote wasn't just about membership. It was about recognizing a fundamental philosophical shift in their understanding of warfare and technology. Humanity didn't need to possess the most advanced weapons to be dangerous. They needed to possess the most dangerous minds. When the vote concluded, Earth was offered not just membership, but a position on the Council's Defense Planning Committee. The Krillin representative, still somewhat shaken by the demonstration, offered the deciding vote. They fight like prey that learn to hunt, Thaxgon admitted. We would be wise to learn from them, Vexara pulsed in agreement. Perhaps we have spent too long assuming that the newest technology represents the pinnacle of possibility. These humans show us that limitation breeds innovation. As the Enterprise prepared to return to Earth with news of their acceptance, Captain Miller made one final observation to the Council. We come from a world where we had to fight for every advance, question every assumption, and create solutions from limited resources. That's not a disadvantage. It's our greatest strength. The Council watched the battleship vanish into faster-than-light travel, her primitive armor plating catching the light one last time. They had expected a primitive species using primitive weapons. Instead, they had encountered something far more dangerous, a civilization that refused to be bound by conventional thinking. In the weeks that followed, the Council began reevaluating their own military doctrines. They studied human warfare from history databases, learning about concepts like combined arms, force multiplication, and asymmetric tactics. They discovered that humanity's approach to conflict wasn't primitive, it was comprehensive. The Galactic Council had been stunned not just by the might of a human battleship, but by the depth of thought behind it. They had learned that sometimes the most advanced species isn't the one with the most advanced technology, but the one with the most adaptive philosophy. And Earth, with its battleship that combined railguns and artificial intelligence, nuclear, weapons and quantum computers had proven that the future belonged not to those who pursued perfection in a single field, but to those who could master the art of integration. The humans had earned their place among the stars not through superior technology, but through superior thinking. And the galaxy would never be the same.